Alrighty then. Seem to have a bit of a shadow up at the top, which is not pleasing me, but hopefully by the time I go out of full screen, that won't be an issue. Now, of course, I don't know whether I was supposed to say I'm on board, but that's a bit of an odd thing to say. I don't know if we are actually running and going, so I'm going to have to do my normal. For those that are interested in tech, good morning, by the way. For those that are interested in tech, although nobody's here, so I'm just going to talk to myself for a while until I see someone pop up. I have got an iPad for which I check my messages to see if, not like, if like Julie's messaged me or whatever. I mean, it's like if anybody comments on the video, then they pop up on here. Let's see, is anybody watching? Oh, 6 people are. Hi. Hang on, I've got my microphone's touching underneath. Hang on. There you go. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? Sorry, I suddenly realised that I had my microphone was attached to my t-shirt, which was underneath my hoodie. Hoodie. G-H-O-O-D-I-E. Hoodie. So if you're interested in the tech that makes this incredible Sunday row work, then I have a MacBook Pro, which is doing the whole streaming side of things, and it's also, this is what's running EXR. And then I have, oh, here we go. Morning Fairchild 707 and morning John Edge. Fasted and strapless. Good job. So anyway, MacBook Pro deals with like the kind of that stuff. Got a little iPad here, which then I can read your messages when they come through, and then I film it on a GH6 camera. And this is all green screen. If you didn't know, hang on, let's see if I can. I don't know if anything's going to turn off. There you go. So that's actually. There you go. And you can see the shadow problem. I've got. You can see I've got like a little green mat and stuff. Kind of basically, I've got the WaterRower is hidden in the corner of the studio, and I've got like a green cloth that drapes over it so that it shouldn't be seen. But unfortunately, there's a shadow involved, and that's why you can see that little kind of swooping shadow coming up. It doesn't matter normally when I'm. Oops, I just turned myself off. It doesn't matter normally if I'm filming a real video because I garbage mat that out when I'm going into. When I go to post-production, I just kind of draw that part out. But when it comes to live stuff, it's a bit of a pain, so I'm going to have to sort that out. There you go, there you go. So it's a little journey through the studio and things. And I've not quite got the chroma key. So the chroma key, the kind of removing of green is done through the OBS software. And sometimes it does a good job, sometimes it doesn't. You can see, where are we? Here, there's like I can't quite get it. Yeah, there's like this strange kind of wobbling mass that's happening. Where I've obviously painted the wall. Oh yeah, I can see I've painted over something and it's a slightly different shade of green, so it's not quite got it. But yeah, so basically I need to repaint the entire wall the same. Because the green I use is, this is really dull start, isn't it? This is a dad chat start. The green that I use for the green screen is, I went to B&Q and said, this is the green I need, and they mixed me up a tin, and it worked perfectly. But unfortunately, I then had to do some repainting, got another tin made, and it didn't match. What does that say for B&Q's colour matching, eh? I'm sure you can talk yourself into it. What was he on about? Just got a message from John Sheldrake. I wonder if it's I posted something about the state of I'd left my studio in a bit of a mess, and I posted a photo of it. Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. On the Facebook group, and said, do you think I can tidy this before today's row? And John Sheldrake said, I'm sure you can talk yourself into it. I did, because I talk so much. Right, okay, so yes, we're doing the British row. For folks that are on here, it's the British rowing row that you are participating in EXR, which I actually haven't clicked participate in yet. Hang on, John, I'll answer in a sec. And so, where are we? So if you're looking to join for whatever it is, in fact, let's kind of go through it, and what I'll do is I'll leave that up on thing. So John, don't worry, I've not forgotten about your question. Right, so I've gone, right. Let's not do this on the... Andrew Fielden, we'll be plodding along. It's just on the erg zone thingy. Okay. Andrew, just so I say it, I'll say it again later. My plan is I'm going to do 4 minutes easy, 1 minute at 24 strokes a minute. I'm going to do that 6 times. So don't worry about... What I'd suggest is even if you're plodding easy, maybe do the same thing, just to kind of give a bit of variety and just let the kind of the pace naturally go up when you go to 24. Don't push it hard. Don't do whatever. Just take the stroke rate up just to make it a bit more exciting. I did this a couple of days ago. I kind of sat down and I knew I wanted to do a 30-minute row, and I was like, I just can't face a 20-minute sorry, 30-minute, 20 strokes a minute, just straight row. It's just, I just thought my brain's just not into that. So I did the 4 minutes, so 1 minute 24, and that kind of, we break it into those little kind of technically 5-minute chunks, everything flies by. So that's why. Okay, one row of data from there. Connect heart rate monitor. Here we go. Don't worry, John. I know I've still not answered you. It's not even that big an answer as well. The answer's no. Right. Okay. Epix Pro from a watch. Dearie me. Good thing about now running EXR on the Mac, on the new Mac, is that I can actually answer Andrew Field when he sends me messages on Messenger. There we go. Right. So I've still got my bunny ears on. I'm not going to change that. But the row we are doing is this one, the row with British rowing. Okay. So if you're rowing along with me today, then this is the one to do. There is no RowAlong, rise and row with me thing because is it like the last Sunday of the month, British rowing do one. So I GATECRASH and try and do it. So which is good because what it means is that problem is that I only posted the link to this last night. So possibly this is why people are kind of saying, what are we doing? So I should have been a bit more on it. But yeah, but what it means is that more people turn up to the British rowing event. So I'm going to click on that, then join session. Let's go. Let's just make sure that this works. Okay, there's just 2 of us on the water today. That's good. What's going on? Why is there only 2 of us? Hopefully it'll just go and it'll kind of pop up. So what is it? Is it a 30 minute? Oh no, it's a 1 lap. Okay, which is 7.1 kilometers is going to be round about half an hour for me anyway. So what I'd recommend is that it's totally up to you what you do, how you do this. If you want to just stop when I stop, then of course you can, or you can do the entire 7.1 kilometer lap because it's the British rowing lot. So a little bit concerned as to why there's only 2 of us in the water. Yay, good morning together. Good morning, Tobias. How are you? Yeah, so just in case, Tobias, if you haven't seen, it's the row with British rowing on EXR, if you're joining on EXR, so that's what to look for, rather than the rise and row, because there isn't a rise and row. So, but hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully people will see the 9 o'clock row and go, all right, surely it's that one, because there's only 1 there. Anyway, right, so John Edge, no, is the answer. I didn't do the Strathclyde Park run yesterday. I went back to Drumpellier, because I'll we've got 6 minutes. I'm all over the place when it comes to. Oh, here's someone. Oh no, they keep going. Come back, join us. I am definitely on I'm now thinking about my fitness and training and stuff as a performance thing for the past, basically since November. I've been on a maintenance, oh my God, why am I so injured? Why can't I get faster? Oh, this is hell kind of place. We're now in April, so it's been like kind of 5-6 months of not really being able to train to the performance because I'd always have something was kind of going wrong with me. I'd kind of tore something kind of in my hamstring from doing lunges, so I couldn't do much. And then there was the Achilles injury from high rocks from running around, and then I can't remember the myriad injuries I had. Oh, and then of course there was the skin cancer operation. And so anyway, so things were, and then so I've been kind of building slowly, sensibly, because I then came back too soon for the Brussels high rocks, and completely, I think I'd not quite recovered from, I'm pretty sure I picked up COVID in Vegas, to be honest. And I hadn't quite recovered from that, and I started to push hard for Brussels, and I got real energy dumps, and I'm like, what's going wrong? And it's like, all happened as I turned 50 as well. I'm thinking, crikey, is this like falling off a cliff? But I think I just went too hard coming back. Is the real answer to that. So yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that I've been training for training purposes for this is a really long, just short answer for Strathclyde Park. Did you do the Strathclyde Park run? But things have now transpired, and I need to start training for performance again as a whole, not specifically for rowing, but for everything again, for performance. So I'm using the Drumpellier, here we go, the Drumpellier Park Run I am using as my kind of gauge of where I'm at, because it's a flat course and it's like very consistent. I know everything for a park run is consistent, but it's not like hills and stuff like the Springburn one is very hilly. And so last week I did that park run for the first time, and I did like, it was 24:45, I think it was. And then like trained throughout the week, and then did it yesterday and did it in 24:03 or something. So like a 40-second improvement. And it's great to see that because you see the signs of improvement happening. And so that's how I want to use the Drumpellier one. Next week, however, I might either do Drumchapel or Strathclyde Park. It depends, because Julie's going to come and do it with me. So it depends what she wants to do. I'll let her pick. So, where are we tech-wise? I've been chatting so much that I haven't quite, I'm like, where am I? I'm still a little bit concerned why there's only 3 of us on the water. Where is everybody? Unless, of course, there's loads of people behind us. I don't know, actually, but yeah. Tell you what I'm happy about is that the hassles that I've had before about my heart rate, my watch not particularly getting picked up properly by either the Mac or the app, seems better right now. It's 45, which is a little high resting heart rate for me, but it's because I'm kind of like, ooh, talking away and hyping things. So, right, where are we? Swig of Ambition. Does Row with British Rowing get their own music? Ooh. I think I get my own music. Right, we're behind you. It's like a pantomime. Oh, okay. So I'm just at the, why am I at the front then? I need to do something next before we start. Ooh. Data export, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go, cool. Because, all right, so you're all behind me, okay. Because I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or whether gets keyed out, but I don't know if you saw me. Oh yeah, cool, you can. Don't know if you saw me posting a YouTube short about this a couple of days ago, but this is the Smart Row handle. And I'm not going to talk about anything data-wise with it today because I'm just going to do a test as we row, and I'm not even going to tell you how that test goes. But the Smart Row handle, there you go. Oh, have I just turned it off or on? Oh, there we go. Smart Row, cool. Smart Row handle is set to, well, for those who buy it, 52 today. Oh, I was going to say 50. I have it as 54, to be honest. That's weird. Do I want to broadcast? No. Start, and I'll just go just row. Okay, just row. Yeah, where was I? So the Smart Row handle is in soft release by Smart Row. It's an amazing piece of kit. Hang on, I need to sort. I've got a minute and a half, and I've still got to take my hoodie off. Oh, crikey. Hang on. Right, let's get this sorted. Put me down into the bottom corner. Right, then go back into excerpt. Hang on. Right, so if you're new to joining on the stream, then hang on, I'm going to go off screen to take my hoodie off. Then the plan for me today is I'm going to do 4 minutes at 20 strokes a minute at a low intensity, followed by 1 minute at 24 strokes a minute. And I'm just going to let the pace naturally go up. I'm not going to worry about what pace I'm rowing those 24s at. Hello again. Where are we? Okay, 57 seconds to go. So the first 4 minutes is still going to be that kind of easy warm up anyway. That kind of nice gentle pace just to get my body moving. And then after 4 minutes, I'll take it up to 24 strokes a minute, a little bit of a speed boost, and then I'll kind of settle into a better 20 strokes a minute pace, or maybe not. Depends how we start today. So where are we? Right, okay, so remember there's a delay between Excerpt and YouTube, which seems to be about 4 seconds. So if you are rowing on Excerpt as well as watching YouTube, make sure and look at your app for the start time, not YouTube, because you'll be 4 seconds out and you'll be like, why has everybody gone ahead of me? Oh crikey, that's a bit of a reach to get into the front. It's the only downside to the Smart Row handle so far anyway, is that it doesn't fit in the Concept 2's handle holder, so it goes all the way up to the throat. Okay, we're going in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think Frank started soon then. Ooh. Okay, it's a nice, easy start. Maybe even to give the first minute as a just opening up my body. Been awake since 6:30 this morning actually. I had to take Jamie, my eldest, to swimming gala. So you think I'd be a bit more awake and supple, but no. So yeah, all that popping off the back of the screen. Oh, sorry. Didn't set that up right, did I? Ah, you don't need to see me. Oh, here comes everybody. So, I'll quickly, in this first 4 minutes, I'll quickly just finish off what I was saying about the Smart Row handle. So it's newly designed by the Smart Row people, or well, it's been in design for a couple of years, but newly released, available in Netherlands only right now, but should be going worldwide soon. And what it is it's a force meter. The handle itself is a force meter, so it knows how hard I am pulling on the handle in terms of the force I am putting into the machine. It also knows, hang on, my heart rate monitor didn't start it. Whee. It also knows stroke rate, and it also knows stroke length. There's a clever little algorithm in there, or clever little sensor, how it knows stroke length. And so, because it's actually a proper force meter, and it's not, like Concept 2s are amazing, and this is no shade on Concept 2, but Concept 2 knows pace based on an algorithm of the fan speed. It's not actually a direct calculation of force. So, in many ways, this handle is more accurate than the Concept 2. But the big thing here is that it can connect to any rowing machine that uses a chain. It will connect, well, it should be able to connect to. So it doesn't work with WaterRowers with the strap. And so things like RP3, Concept 2, Skill Row, Rogue, Echo, can use all of them, and through this handle it unifies all of the machines. The power reading is the same, and that has the potential to revolutionize indoor rowing. Of course, WaterRowers have the pulley anyway. So, okay, 10 seconds time. I am gonna just take the stroke rate up to 24. So after this one, here we go. So just push a little harder with the legs here to have a very slightly faster drive speed, but actually it's more about your recovery phase when it comes to the slight step up in stroke rates. Drive is faster, but whereas 20 strokes a minute might be 1 second drive to recover, for 2.5 seconds at 24, it's like 0.9 of a second drive. It's not that much faster. One more here. Well, let's go back to 20 strokes a minute. Okay, so we'll just do that for the half-hour row. So it means we do this 6 times, 4 minutes easy, 1 minute a little bit faster. And I'll just give you not only a variety in how you are actually rowing, but also make it a little bit more interesting. And especially because you're only ever looking ahead by 4 minutes. It's a great trick to make longer rows go by quicker. So even if I was doing like a half marathon, 21 kilometers, I'll break that right down. First of all, I'll only ever look ahead a maximum of 3K. So because if you sit down for a half marathon and then you go, all right, 21 kilometers, that's going to be in and around an hour and a half, you'd probably just stop there and then. Whereas if you only ever think, right, 3K and then the next 3K, you've basically broken it down to around 12-minute chunks. And even then, I'll tend to break those 3Ks into the normal 500-meter splits and maybe do a power stroke at the end of each one. And so if you do a power stroke at the end of every 500 meters you pass, and at the end of every minute marker, you're going to keep your brain engaged through the longer rows. And sure, those power strokes, if you end up doing possibly, I don't know, 80 through a row, that's like more than 500 meters at a power input. So it's also a great way to hack a few seconds off a time trial. So if you did a half marathon, just a straight 24 strokes a minute, same pace, and then did it again, adding in power strokes, second time round, you probably end up 6 or 7 or more seconds faster. Okay, 3 strokes and back to 24 again for a minute. If you're joining me, of course, you don't have to. So, a bit more power for a slightly faster drive, and then complement that with a slightly faster recovery. And really get that feel for hanging off the handle, for pushing the legs and keeping your arms straight. Don't lift them up, don't drop them down. Keep the handle in a straight line, forwards and backwards, forwards tilt, push the legs, hang off the handle. One more. So pace-wise, I'm kind of jumping between 2:08 at 20 strokes a minute and 2 minutes pace at 24. So I'm still taking this easy this morning. Right now anyway, my default 20 strokes a minute pace is around 2:03.
and 155 at 24 strokes a minute. But I'm taking it just a little bit easy still, even though, like I said in the lead into today's row, I am back on a training for performance viewpoint. I still want to be sensible about my training, and as being yesterday's park run, I ended up lying on the wet ground afterwards, gasping for air. I know that today still needs to be a quality recovery row, and if I was to push it to 203 and 155, it wouldn't be a recovery. I think it's interesting, going back to Jamie, my daughter, swimming. It is funny seeing performance through the eyes of a teenager again, where she can train and train and train, but as long as she gets enough sleep, she's pretty much good to go from day to day. But then the older you get, the more you start to look at the recovery days as the most important one of the week, rather than the tough rows, because the tough rows, they kind of take care of themselves as long as you put in the effort. But knowing when to take things easy. Hey Tico, or Taco, how are you? Sorry, I went for the hard A again. Taco. Yeah, so you need to know that even if today was down as a hard day, if your body is feeling fatigued, that you should follow how your body feels, not just a piece of paper. Okay, 3 more strokes. We'll take it up again. 1 more. Here we go. So really think about the handle away and the forwards tilt being set in place before you bend your knees. Get your posture correct and your forwards tilt correct before you slide, because that then means that on your journey towards the front of the machine, nothing changes. Arms are straight and at the right height. Body is tilted forwards. 2 more. 1 more. There we go. Back to 20s. Couple of easy strokes. And then back into it again. There's a whale. Very nice. Is that Titanic? And that's us already halfway through today's row. Told you it'd go by fast. So, the other thing, learned a lot from my chat with Jamie in the car this morning. But she's swimming long course today. So that means 50-meter pools instead of your standard council run 25-meter pool. And so they have this conversion thing that takes like their 100 front time on short course and converts it to what they should be able to do long course. So that gives them a target to aim for, especially if they don't have a recent long course PB. But it's quite a harsh equation that often has them a good few seconds faster. And in one of the races yesterday, everybody in Jamie's heat was slower than their conversion time. And in one of the races, Jamie did really well, PB, but because she hadn't hit her conversion time, she came off disappointed. And so I was saying to her in the car today how dangerous that is, that you took a successful outcome and found a way to turn it negative. Because we all need the little wins in order to keep us enthused. So even on a day when I'm not feeling fit, I might do more power if I feel strong, so that I still feel happy when I'm done. Or I'll focus on technique so that I can at least say, right, I spent that half hour trying to sort out my posture. That was good work. Always look for a positive hook to hang your coat on, even in the face of some negativity. Sadly though, 15-year-old girl does not listen to 50-year-old dad. Okay, one more here. Back up to 24. You'll have to let me know afterwards whether putting a little bit of structure into this workout is helping you or not. Because usually these Sunday mornings are a free-for-all. Everybody just clambers on and rows how they want to. But like I said, I need every workout now needs to have some kind of performance element to it. So just junk meters are no longer what I'm looking for. 2 more strokes. A couple of easy ones. And then back to 20 strokes per minute. And I know I don't, well, to be honest, I know I say I try not to talk about myself, but I do, so. But hopefully you take something out of this for yourself. But I've always been hot on goal setting. where you find something that you can set as a goal. Whether that's performance related, like I want to row a faster 2K, or I want to break 7,000 meters or 8,000 meters for a half hour. Something that you know is going to take a fair bit of work, but is also a measurable goal. Because that way you can break it down into short-term goals. So say I want to knock 15 seconds off my 2K in around 3 to 4 months. That's just a second a week, which is a lot more kind of mentally manageable, than just thinking about 15 seconds. However, what I haven't really talked about is the value of being what's the right phrase? An explorer, finding out new things. So say you've only ever rowed like 30 minutes and above in terms of time trials. You've never done a 2K. Then the motivational gains that you'll have by starting to train for something different will be huge as you expose yourself to new waters, different ways of training and rowing, different ways of feeling during the workout. A 2K training will often leave you exhausted, writhing around on the floor, heaving for air. It's fun, trust me. Whereas other rows, maybe not. Final time trial might. But the training isn't likely to. Okay, 2 more strokes. And we're back up to 24s. And again, that's where thinking about technique can help. There was a guy that posted yesterday on the Facebook group asking for technique advice. He was mostly okay, but as is common, not getting the hip tilt right and over compressing. So if he spends the next 5 to 10 sessions working on technique and seeing the outcome, the improvements in his pace, that will keep him motivated to continue. One more. A couple of easy, just to settle down a bit. And then back up to 20. Whew. So we've got 5 minutes to go. Probably be just over the half-hour point for me to hit the 7.1 kilometer lap of this course. So I'm just going to keep going. And just going back to that post about technique, when somebody posts a video and says, please offer advice, there are lots of lovely people that will step in and comment, and that's amazing. What I suggest, if ever you're that kind of person, is make sure to make it relevant to the person who posted. There's no point just saying, make sure and drive with the legs, swing your back, pull your arms, release your arms, tilt forwards, bend knees, as just your answer. Because the person who posted is possibly thinking, well, I'm doing that. There's a good chance they're not. So if you can say, look at the front of the stroke, as you push, you'll notice you open your back too soon. Give them actual advice rather than just something ChatGPT could write. That's my tip, because it'll help people more. That's why I do technique reviews, where people send me a short video of them rowing, and I'll give you some tips for free, because that's the kind of lunatic I am. This may all change soon. My day job is making TV programs. I'm an editor, so they go and film stuff. They bring me back what they filmed, known as rushes, in case you didn't know. If it's a film, they often call them dailies, but documentary-wise, rushes. Don't know why. And I then sit in an edit suite for weeks, put it together. But TV in the UK has been really heavily hit by the lack of advertising money, largely due to the streaming platforms. And so I'm not entirely sure how secure my job is. So it may well be that this time next year, RowAlong is actually my job. I wonder how things will change. Okay, 2 more strokes, and we'll hit 24 again. You ready? Let's go. Where are we? I might actually just keep this going until the finish line, because it's just ahead of me. Now, of course, if you are behind me, you can continue rowing to the finish. You can just use that as a cool down. I seem to have sped up. As though trying to catch Andrew. So, because this is lap based rather than time based, you may still be on the water rowing. I still recommend, if you're only like 5 minutes away or something, just keep going. Continue to a finish. Whew. All right. Oh. Interesting results from the Smart Row handle. Look out for a video about the Smart Row coming soon. I want to make a bunch of tests first before talking about it properly. Just so that I know exactly what's going on, how the data compares to Concept 2, how the buttons work on it, because there are 4 buttons on the underside of it that that are like music controls, and I want to find out, does it connect to like Netflix, etc. It's just all the stuff that I want to make a video about to kind of properly talk about it. And so I've actually got the episode, going back to my TV job, the episode I'm working on right now, I finish editing on Tuesday, and then I've taken 2 weeks off until the next episode to try and do a little bit more RowAlonging, because I know I've been kind of languishing, not doing much. Most of the videos I've been making have either been these live streams on a Sunday or kind of review videos and things. I mean, I think the last thing I did was the sprint series at the beginning of January. That's the last kind of actual RowAlong workouts I've done, so I need to do a bit more of them. And I'm also starting doing the Avaron bike stuff. So you may have noticed the Avaron rowing machine workouts I've been doing, which they're going to be the first ones I'm going to make to upload. But I'm also making them for their fit bike, which again is going to be the same thing where, although I'm on the Avaron fit bike, anybody can use them, no matter what bike you're on. If you're on a turbo trainer at home, you can use it. If you're on a Peloton, you can use it. It's up to you. So anyway, that's what I've got coming up for the next kind of couple of weeks, and then it starts like the 19th of May or something is when I start the next episode. So I've got a good wee chunk to kind of concentrate on you guys for a while, so that'd be quite nice. Maybe try and finish off the app. I'm gonna have a whinge for 2 minutes, okay? So make sure I'm cooled down. I spent about 8 hours yesterday, got up early, kind of worked in the afternoon, a little bit in the evening as well, trying to work out why I've created heat maps for habits that you complete. So if you set a habit like drinking water through the day or taking your vitamins and things, and you do it, it kind of checks off and it gets a heat map, so you can look back and see the days that you actually did what you kind of set your habits to be. And then one of them, it just wasn't changing color to say, because it's like if it was light green, it mean you only did 1. If it was mid green, you did 2. If it was dark green, you did all 3, so for example. And it wasn't changing color. I spent hours yesterday trying to work out why it wasn't changing color, and then went into the code and found out I hadn't actually set 3 different colors. They were all exactly the same color. So there was 8 hours of my life gone. This is the reason why people pay professionals to do things and not do it themselves. But again, I was talking to Jamie this morning about this in the car. It's the last thing I'll talk about today. Because you're saying, why didn't you just pay someone? I'm like, well, because if you look at all the stuff that I put into the RowAlong app, if you ask the developer to do it for the amount of time that it would take to get it done, we're looking at around about £50,000 in order to kind of get this app made. And I don't have £50,000 that I can pay someone to make this app, and certainly because I don't think I'd ever make that money back off it. It had to just be a hobby, something that I kind of did. And she's like, yeah, but surely you're taking that money away from somebody who could have done it for you. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And this is the same for the AI world in a way. You're right, but because I wouldn't have that £50,000 to pay somebody, the only way that the app would exist is if I did it myself. So there's that person, that £50,000 person, was never going to get any money. Okay, so either I was never going to pay them to do it because I'm going to do it myself, or I didn't have the money so they weren't going to get it, and I didn't have the skills so the app wouldn't exist. Does that make sense? So that's where doing things yourself, and possibly, say it's like making a poster for your car boot sale you're having, okay, and you go into AI and you chat GPT, make me a poster, okay, and it kind of goes boom and punts out a poster for you. A designer, even on Fiverr or something, maybe that's going to be like £20, and you're like, well, actually, I can't afford the £20 because that's all I'm going to make from my car boot sale. Get what I mean? But if you have the budget and you have the time and you need the expertise, that's where these people. It's like, 'cause remember, like I said, I make TV programs. My job is in danger of getting taken by AI, that someone says, here's all the rushes, I want it to be this. AI, say in like 10 years time, is going to be smart enough to look at all those rushes and go, bloop, 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 bloop. If it's a farming show, show the shot of the cow and all that kind of stuff, and probably put it together. So I know that my job is at risk because of the AI world. And that there are people out there who used to get in touch with me and say, oh, I just need a quick reversion of this advert. Can you do it for me? And now, because of the help that they're getting online and stuff, they can do it themselves. And so I'm not getting those days' work anymore. But that's kind of it's just progress, unfortunately. But what I'm not saying, what I'm not saying is it's a good thing that people are losing their work. But what I think it's doing is it's democratizing a lot of skills in the same way that back in the, I'm going on and on. Back in the day, so I used to be a DJ, okay? So 30 years ago, good grief, 30 years, yeah, well, no, say 25 years ago, I was a DJ playing in clubs. So yeah, like late 90s, early 2000s, boots and cats, okay? It's all on vinyl, and it was all beat matching. So you had 2 records, and you had to use the speed thing and you're like trying to match the beats, so they go bum stum stums at the same time, so they go if you got it wrong. And there's a real skill involved in that, and hearing what one to speed up, what one to slow down, to actually get them locked in, to then use the mixer to kind of match things, and then to actually get the music lined up so that your outro of one happens as the intro of the next one happens, and the 2 beats for you get that rising crescendo, one hits the end of the crescendo, the other one hits the end of this intro crescendo, and way you're into the, so mixing is like, it is a skill, an actual physical skill. You had to have knowledge and whatever. And then CDs came along. They made things a lot easier anyway, because you could then loop stuff, and so if you're getting it wrong, you could go, or hang on, loop it, and then had beat counters, so you could just look at the counter and you could tell what to do. And then digital DJing came along, and that had a great big sync button that you just hit, and it knew the BPM of your music, and it said, right, this one's 132.7, this one's 134.8, I need to slow that one down to make that match. So therefore the skill of knowing what to do that had gone, and then you could get the beats, bars, and phrases thing, which would line up your thing as well. And so you just kind of went, right, these 2 tracks, sync, it would line them all up, and then you just hit play. And then that was it. And so what that did was it democratized the skills needed to be a DJ, whereas back in my day, on vinyl, you really needed to have a skill, and then it was about picking the right music to be able to entertain people. So that's where you got the stratospheric DJs, your Sashas, your Oakenfolds, all that kind of stuff for back in that era. Because they had the technical know-how, and they were amazing at picking out records. But then the digital DJing came along, took away the skill element of it, so then anybody could actually be a DJ. You just pick a couple of tracks, stick them together. And that then meant that it was the ones who were able to pick the best tracks to put together a fantastic set. They were then the ones that were the big DJs, because anybody could do it. You could download Traktor or Serato today, go to Beatport and download a whole bunch of MP3s, and then just kind of go sync and be a DJ. It really is that easy. But you wouldn't really, in terms of working the dance floor, you wouldn't really know what to read and like what's the latest tune and research and all that kind of stuff, and how do I push this differently, and how do I create my own style. That still has to be up to you. And that's where AI is for me, is that it's there as a tool, but it has to be programmed by somebody. Somebody has to put in the right prompt to get the thing out the other end. What it does is it just takes the actual skills side of it away, that unfortunately these designers and stuff out there who've relied on, and like me as an editor, the one that pushes the buttons to make the TV program, like I say, I'm at risk of this. So AI could eventually just get to a point where that's removed and it can all get done for you. So that's where we're going. Good thing, bad thing? That's the argument here. I still think it's technically a bad thing because people are going to be out of work. But I think the democratization side of it, where somebody can come and say, I've had an idea, and 10 years ago they wouldn't be able to get it made because they just couldn't afford it. Now they can actually get it made. So why are we stunting those people? You get what I mean. Anyway, quick messages, some rant. So Fairchild 707, are you actually 52 today? That's a good point. Or is it just that we had 54 participants, or 52 participants? Or so John Edge has said happy birthday, Fairchild 707, in case it is your birthday and it wasn't you just saying about people on the row. CBDBDBDBDB says, nice one, to 24 strokes per minute all the way. Also with help of Metronome keeping me straight. Now remember, CBDBDBDB, I do also have within the RowAlong app, I do have my own little metronome thing, the stroke rate timer. That has like a guy moving backwards and forwards as well, same as metronome. And so, yeah, I mean, but you have to pay for it. So, but I do like, not I'm saying, because again, I don't want to take away from the metronome, because he or she, I don't know who the developer is, came up with a great design there. So anyway, right, the very fact that hardly anybody has replied makes me think that you all switched off during my big rant about AI and music and stuff. So my apologies for that, but I kind of went off on one. That's kind of continuation of the chat I was having with Jamie this morning. Yep, got to try that. Please do. Let me know what you think of it. I think it's, yeah. Anyway, right, thank you so much. We've got on my little outro there has been almost 10 minutes long as I ranted about AI, so my apologies for that. And I will say goodbye. So next week we're back to 5 o'clock in the evening, which hopefully means we can roll in a whole bunch of people from around the world, row together. And it's going to be back to being the sunset row with RowAlong. And I promise not to rant about AI next week. John H says, talking about, here we go. Desk skilling, I was a computer engineer, and when I started, I would repair boards to chip level. Wow, motherboards today are the size of OXO cubes, and nobody repairs them. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Everything's become disposable, hasn't it? It's become about, it doesn't break, you throw it. It's like, I went to the tip, because to change the bin cycles for for me. It's now every 3 weeks to pick up the bins. Oy. So I had a bunch of stuff. It's like, ironically, an old bin I had to throw away. No way that would fit in the bin, it would fill it up, so I had to take it to the local tip. And as you're there, and there's these big containers filled with TVs, and like still flat screen TVs and things. And it's obviously from people who've had maybe like an HD TV from 2012 or whatever, and then they've bought a 4K TV, and so they've just thrown out their old one. We're in such a disposable kind of, nothing gets repaired anymore, everything just gets thrown away. And the problem is that, like, because most of the time nothing can get repaired. Look at iPhones, it took what, EU injunction to make it so that people could actually repair them themselves rather than having to go through Apple. So it's an interesting times, isn't it? Anyway, right, Taco, I'm glad you loved it. I thank you for keeping me company. I think you beat me. I think you and Andrew were just ahead of me, but then it wasn't a race. So anyway, so next week, 5 o'clock, I hope to see you then. Until then, have an amazing week. Make sure and have something to drink, something to eat, have a shower, maybe not in that order. And then throughout the week, I hope you have a fantastic one. If the sun's out, make sure and wear some sun cream. And of course, like I've started to say at the end of every week, every opportunity that you have, maybe not every opportunity, I mean, I'd keep this to people that you actually mean it to, but every opportunity you have that you see someone that it means something, tell them you love them, all right? So you see your mum, your dad, your daughter, your dog, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, whatever, tell them you love them. Personal trainers, people you meet in the street, your barman, waitress, guy that just served you coffee, it's up to you if you want to tell them you love them, but it can get a little bit awkward. I remember once telling when I was in like primary 3 at school, saying to my teacher at the time, she gave me something, I was like, oh, thank you, love you. And oh, did the backside get ripped out of me that day. Anyway, that's like when you call your teacher mum by accident. Don't know if anyone else did, but I did. Right, so I'm going to go, because I'm off on one. I'm enjoying talking to you, to be honest. Some weeks, to be honest. Some weeks I'm like, oh, what am I going to talk about today? But obviously today, I've had a lot to talk about. So I'm going to go. I should maybe go and phone my sister, just talk to her for a while. Phone my sister and tell her I love her. Hey, that's what I'll do. Yeah, anyway, everybody have a fantastic week. Look after yourselves. I will hopefully see you 5 o'clock on EXR and or on YouTube next Sunday. Until then, take care, row well, be well.